Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Far More Podcast. I am Liz Brock, and today we're diving into a topic that's near and dear to my heart as a wife, as a mother, but also as a follower of Jesus.
Welcome to the Far More Podcast.
We're going to talk about what it means to take care of your body as a Christian wife. So grab your favorite smoothie, get comfy, and let's chat about how we can honor God with our bodies, not just for our own sake, but for our marriages, families, and most importantly, for our walk with Jesus. So I understand that this is a big topic. It's a big topic, and more than likely it will end up being a little bit of a hot button topic because there's a lot of pressure out there about physical appearance, fitness, and health. But today, I want to shift the focus from the societal expectations to a biblical perspective because it's not just about how you look, but it's about stewardship of what God has given us. So at the time of this recording, I am 46 years old, and my body, I've put it through a lot. Anorexia, bulimia, yo-yo dieting, extreme high-intensity cardio that basically just left me out of breath and on the floor feeling like I was dying. Breast cancer, double mastectomy, another surgery to have my implants removed, 4 pregnancies, miscarriage, weight loss, weight gain, on and on and on. Some of these were of my own doing, and some of them were out of my control. And I did this post on social media today. I'll put a link to it in the show notes about how I am grateful for my body and what it has been through and what it has gotten me through. But it's time to refocus. It's time to refocus on getting healthy. And here's why that matters. The Bible tells us that our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit. And I think we have just glossed over that verse like it doesn't really mean anything. We just sort of say it flippantly. Oh, well, my body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. But what it actually means to me is that how I care for myself physically is directly related to how I honor God spiritually. And when I had that realization this morning in my quiet time, it hit me like a ton of bricks of conviction. It's not just about looking good or feeling good, although let's be honest, those are wonderful byproducts of taking care of ourselves. It's about recognizing that this body we have is a gift from God. I think it's so easy for me to forget that because y'all, you know just as well as I do, life gets busy, especially for wives and moms. Husbands, fathers, I am not discounting what you do. I promise I am not. But between taking care of kids, managing the home, and maybe working inside or outside of the home, it can feel impossible to carve out time to take care of ourselves. But caring for my body isn't selfish. It's an act of worship. That's like a light bulb. What if we reframed it and began consistently looking at it through the lens of me taking care of my body is actually an act of worship to the God who gave me this body as such a beautiful gift. By fueling my body well, getting enough rest and exercising, I'm actually showing gratitude to God for the gift of the life that He's given me. What if we had that mental shift? How would it change how we approach taking care of ourselves? And listen, on the flip side, when I neglect my health, as I so often have done, I'm so sorry, Lord. It's so hard to serve others well, right? Whether it's Jason, my husband, my kids, or even my community, taking care of myself allows me to give more of myself in a healthy, sustainable, just in a great way. It's that whole like putting your oxygen mask on first before helping others situation. But let's get real practical here for a minute. You may be listening and you're asking, okay, Liz, as a busy mom, What are some ways I can intentionally care for my body without feeling guilty? Well, first, I would say, great question, because I've thought about this too. First off, it's important to know that self-care doesn't have to be elaborate. It can be simple things like getting enough sleep, staying hydrated, making sure you're eating food that nourishes your body instead of the fast stuff that typically leaves us feeling bloated and tired and generally just makes us feel worse. For me personally, exercise is a big one. I do make it a priority to move my body, whether that's going for a walk, doing a strength workout at the gym, or stretching. But you know what? I also have to remember to give myself grace when things don't go perfect, because things don't always go perfect. I mess up. I mess up a lot, but I can't let it keep me down. We can't let the mistakes, we can't let the imperfections, we can't let that keep us down on ourselves and in that pit. We have to get back out. So something I've recently invested in is a nutrition coach. Is it because I don't know all the things I'm supposed to be doing and I don't know what healthy foods to be eating? Nope. I know all of it. I've got all the head knowledge up there. It's because I need that added layer of accountability to get me going. And I'm recognizing that. I am admitting that. Was it hard for me to admit that I needed help? Yes, it was. I think admitting it is the first step, right? Admitting we have a problem and that we need help. But now I've done it. I have that added layer of accountability and I'm hitting the ground running. And listen, I want to encourage all the husbands listening, if there are any. Please support your wife in taking care of herself. If she wants time to go for a run or even just take a little nap, please let her know that you're there for her. Your encouragement can make all the difference in her journey. Jason, my husband, is such a huge supporter and encourager in this area because he wants me to prioritize my health. Because when I am prioritizing my health, the ripple effect in the Brock household is noticeable. I basically, whether I like it or not, I basically have control over the health of our house, which is an awesome responsibility, but it's one that I want to take seriously. And for that reason, I also think it's important to recognize that physical and spiritual health go hand in hand. I tried to deny that for so long. I still think from time to time, Satan gets in my head and he tries to convince me that they don't go hand in hand. But there are seasons in life where focusing on your spiritual well-being might come easier than your physical health, and that's okay, but the two are connected. When I take care of my body, I don't know about you, but when I take care of my body well, I am more focused. I am more present. I am more in tune with God. I can pray better. I can read His Word with more clarity. And I just feel more capable of showing up for the people in my life. But honey, when I'm not taking care of myself, all areas struggle, especially my spiritual life. And if you have found yourself struggling with this, something that is helping me is inviting God into my physical health. I mean, it seems like a duh thing, like, well, duh, why wouldn't we invite God into our physical health? But if you, like me, were fighting against seeing the connectedness of the two with your physical and your spiritual health, then you wouldn't be inviting God into it. But whether it's praying before a workout or asking God to help me have discipline when it's hard to make healthy choices, y'all, sometimes here's a little secret. There are days when I have to ask God almost hourly, dear Lord, please help me to make healthy choices today, because the enemy pulls on me. That's where I have let him have a stronghold. But guess what? God cares about every part of your life, even the small stuff like what you eat or how you move. And let me tell you something. it's actually not small. What you're eating, what you're putting into your body, it's a lot bigger than you even realize. And it's not separate from your spiritual life. It's all connected. So let's start to have that mental shift. Let's start to see the two as almost one, your physical and your spiritual health connected as one. Now, shifting gears a little bit, let's talk about something that I'm willing to bet a lot of Christian wives struggle with, because I have been there. I am still there a little bit, but it's feeling like we have to be perfect. And if we can't be perfect, then why do we need to try at all? We live in a culture that pushes impossible standards, and it can be way too easy to compare yourself to others, even when you're trying to live out your faith. Guilty, party of one over here. And it's, to be clear, it is not Jason that is pushing this expectation on me. I want to be super duper clear on that. It's me. Or it's the enemy. He wants us distracted. He wants us feeling like we're never good enough. We're never going to be good enough, no matter how much we're doing. So why even try? Why even strive? Why not just eat the cake, the whole cake that makes you feel so good in the moment? Why not drink the entire bottle of wine that makes you feel so good in the moment? Why not insert whatever thing it is that makes you feel so good in the moment? Because, sister, I can guarantee by the end of it, you don't feel so good in that moment. You feel shame and you feel guilt. And you're like, what am I doing with my life? And sometimes we feel like if we're not doing everything perfectly, whether it's our spiritual lives, our health, our marriage, then we're failing. But that is not the truth of the gospel. Jesus invited us into grace, not perfectionism. Your worth is not tied to how fit you are or how well you've quote unquote kept it all together. As Christian wives, we have to learn to extend grace to ourselves. There will be seasons where exercise and healthy eating aren't happening as often as we'd like. That's okay. The goal is to steward what God has given us to the best of our ability, not to live up to the world's standards. So let's remember Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. Whatever we do, do it as unto the Lord, and that applies to our health too. So as we wrap up today, just remember, taking care of your body isn't about looking a certain way or fitting a certain mold. It's about honoring God with the vessel He's given you, and that's going to look different for everyone. Give yourself permission to take care of your body in a way that fits your life, your season, and your calling as a wife and a mother. And always invite God into that process, because He's with you in all of it, whether it's going for a walk, eating a healthy meal, or simply resting. Do it as an act of worship. If this conversation encouraged you, please be sure to share it with a friend or even leave a review. And as always, I love hearing from you, so feel free to send your thoughts or prayer requests. And until next time, take care of yourself, honor God in the little things, and remember, you are loved far more than you can imagine. I'll catch you next time.